Everyone, a very good morning to all of you. As we are discussing one by one chapter, today we are going to discuss about thermal properties of matter. So what we are going to discuss? Thermal properties. Thermal properties of matter. So this is what we are going to discuss. And in this, as we are discussing what kind of questions will come, step by step, I will explain you in a quick and better manner. So the very first kind, when it is related to thermometry, whenever that word comes, it is related to heat and temperature. It is all related to heat and temperature, thermal. So heat is nothing but what? A form of energy. Heat is nothing but a form of energy which exists only in transit. What does that mean? While transferring from one body to another body only, you can observe heat energy. No body, you should not say that body have some heat energy. After transferring that heat energy will be storing inside the body as internal energy. That's why we should not say body possesses some heat energy. We have to say body possesses some internal energy. And temperature is the measurement of heat. Means how hot it is, how cold it is, the degree of hotness or coldness we can say by measuring temperature of the substance. Like if you take two substances, two bodies, one is hotter than other, that you can say when you measure the temperature. The body with greater temperature we call it as hotter than the other one. So like that, the thermal word completely related to heat and temperature. Now, the very first question is based on temperature. So, temperature we will measure in what we call it as three different scales. First one degree Celsius scale. So, and second one degree of Fahrenheit scale, and third one Kelvin scale. So in each scale there is one lower fixed point, there is one upper fixed point. Also we call it as like freezing point and boiling point. So in degree Celsius scale, 0 degree Celsius at which ice freezes, water freezes. Now 100 degrees Celsius at which water boils. Same in Fahrenheit scale at 32 degree of Fahrenheit and 212 degree of Fahrenheit. Here 273 Kelvin and 373 Kelvin. So the relation between these two is temperature in Kelvin means capital T, temperature in degree Celsius T, that is T plus 273 always. Now the question comes, if it is like relation between degree Celsius and Fahrenheit or Fahrenheit and Kelvin, then how to do? How to convert one temperature from one scale to another scale? That is the first kind of question in this chapter. So what is that? That is, suppose there are two scales you consider X and Y, and in every scale there is a ice point, there is a steam point. I mean lower fixed point, upper fixed point. Same way in this scale also 2 points will be there. Now how to relate these things is, X is the temperature of the body in X scale minus X naught by number of divisions, nothing but difference between upper and lower fixed points. Then similar way here, Y minus Y naught by Y 100 minus Y naught. Suppose if you want to connect between these two, C Celsius scale minus 0 by 100 minus 0 equal to F minus 32 by 212 minus 32. This way you will get the relation C equal to 5 by 9 F minus 32. Sometimes they will give unknown temperature, unknown scale. Any unknown scale they will give, like, so in this scale, this is the temperature, just they will mention the 40 degree, where the lower fixed point is something 70 degree and upper fixed point something 300. Then find the corresponding temperature in degree Celsius scale. Then how do you do it? Here the unknown scale is temperature 40. So 40 minus the lower fixed point is 70 by 300 minus 70 equal to, then the degree Celsius we need to convert, C minus 0 by 100 minus 0. So like that, if you, this is the general formula. Using this, if you connect two different scales, then you can convert the temperature from one scale to another scale. So this way, the very first kind of question they can ask based on conversion of temperature from one scale to another scale. First kind. The next kind of question is based on thermometers. Like when you get fever, the thermometer they will put it in your mouth so that the level of liquid, mercury will rise. So depending on the length of the liquid, their reading will be fixed. Like 100 or 101 or 99, something like that. Same way, here when you consider such kind of thermometer, a device which measures temperature. Now, what happens is, any thermometer you take, in every thermometer we measure one property. That property of the substance we will take X. Suppose the thermometer which we use generally, in that mercury is there, liquid. So the liquid length we will measure. So what liquid length we will measure? Liquid length at 0 degree Celsius, liquid length at 100 degree Celsius, liquid length at unknown temperature. So the unknown temperature will become L minus L naught by L 100 minus L naught into 100. Or you can take it as LT, L at unknown temperature. So if you calculate this, then you will get the unknown temperature. But in generally what we will write is in terms of X. There is one property X, that property value at T temperature, and that property value at 0 degree Celsius, that property value at 100 we have to calculate. Then if you solve this one, then you will get the unknown temperature. So like this, here inside the thermometer there is one material, and depending on one of its property, suppose gas thermometer is there. There we will measure either pressure or volume. So pressure at T minus pressure at 0, Pt minus P naught by P100 minus P naught into 100, or Vt minus V naught by V100 minus V naught into 100. Like that, the question can be asked based on the thermometers also. In every thermometer we use one substance and we measure that property at unknown temperature, and we already found the unknown that property at 0 degree Celsius and 100 degree Celsius, so that we can calculate. So based on this formula only they will design. If in thermometer, suppose that rises to this much, then temperature is this much. So they have already calculated and they set the reading. So depending on the length, if it rises this much, 102 degree Fahrenheit. If it rises this much, 101 degree Fahrenheit. So based on this formula, already they calculated and they designed the thermometer. So this is the second kind of question. Next question comes based on thermal expansion. Let us see that one. Thermal expansion. The next question is based on thermal expansion. So when it comes thermal expansion, see, when you give heat energy to a substance, then the temperature rises, or you can say like temperature may rise, or body may expand, or change of state may happen. Change of state. So change of state means what? Solid may convert into liquid, liquid may convert into gas, like that. Now, first thing here what we will discuss is based on thermal expansion of solids, then thermal expansion of liquids. So first we will discuss thermal expansion of solids, then we will discuss thermal expansion of liquids, then expansion of gases. Three things are there. But today, even though we discuss all, today's test will be based on only these two. Thermal expansion of solids and thermal expansion of liquids only. Now, the very first thing, thermal expansion of solids, if you consider, there are three types of solid bodies exist. I mean regular shapes. One is linear body like a wire. One is surface body like a circular or square or rectangular plate like disc. And another one is sphere. So, one is linear body, one is surface body, one is volume body. Now, initial length L, initial area A, initial volume V means after increasing change temperature by delta theta for all of them, then final length will become, or else you take L naught, A naught, V naught, initial. Then final length will become L naught into 1 plus alpha delta theta. And here final area will become A naught into 1 plus beta delta theta. Here final volume is V naught into 1 plus gamma delta theta. So in each case there is one constant alpha will come, which is L minus L naught by L naught delta theta. That is delta L by L delta theta, L naught. And here beta is delta A by A naught delta theta. So change by initial into change in temperature. Same here gamma is delta V by V naught into delta theta. So based on this question can come. Based on this equation question can come. Of course this and this both are same. If they ask alpha, use this formula. If they ask final length, use this formula. Both are same. Or if they are asking about the surface area change, use this formula. Or they can ask question based on volume. After changing the temperature, then what is the new volume? Or what is the volume coefficient? And sometimes the question can be asked based on one more thing, that is the relation between these three for a solid body. Like cube you consider. If you consider a cube, there is a length, there is a phase area, there is a volume. Length is there, area is there, volume is there. So for such kind of bodies, there is alpha, beta and gamma. And if you derive the relation, gamma comes 3 times alpha, beta comes 2 times alpha, so that gamma is 3 by 2 times beta. So based on this relation also question can come. Now here only one more thing, whether it is solid or liquid, sometimes they will ask you the question based on change in density. Here we talk about dimension, length, area, volume. But sometimes they can also ask question based on change in density. Let's take rho naught is initial density and it changed to rho T or rho. So it is at 0 degrees Celsius, it is at T degrees Celsius. So at initially density means mass by initial volume. Finally the density is mass by final volume. But here final volume means V naught into 1 plus gamma delta theta, just before we have seen. So that here equation will become m by V naught, nothing but rho naught by 1 plus gamma delta theta. See, volume is V equal to V naught into 1 plus gamma delta theta. So V greater than V naught, expansion. But here rho T is rho naught by 1 plus gamma delta theta. That means rho T less than rho naught. So as temperature increases, volume increases, but density decreases. Now, here you can make this formula in another way. Take this to numerator. So power minus 1 it will become. Then we can write it as this minus 1 will become multiplier. Why? Because 1 plus x whole power minus 1 is approximately, this minus 1 will become multiplier according to binomial approximation when this x is very much lesser. Because here gamma is always in terms of 10 power minus 5, minus 4, minus 6. That's why this is very much lesser compared to 1. That's why we can apply this formula here. So this is called binomial approximation. So the question can also be asked based on density. So now comes, so this is expansion of solids. Now the question comes based on application of expansion of solids. Application of expansion of solids. So what is this application means? Very first thing, simple applications I will tell you, please try to understand. If there is a bimetallic strip, means two metals stick each other like alpha 2, alpha 1, coefficient of expansion. And if you heat it, the shape may become like this or like this. So this is alpha 2, this is alpha 1, this is alpha 2, this is alpha 1. This is possible when alpha 2 greater than alpha 1 because here this is expanding more. Here in this case alpha 1 greater than alpha 2. So a bimetallic strip when it is heated, then the one metal which has greater coefficient that comes as convex side and other will come as concave side. So that thing you need to remember. And afterwards next application is pendulum clock. What is the time period of a pendulum clock? 2 pi root L by G. So T square proportional to L. As temperature changes, then delta L equal to L alpha delta theta or delta L by L equal to alpha delta theta. There is a change in length. As length changes, time period also changes. So how much time period changes means 2 into delta T by T equal to delta L by L according to error analysis, power into percentage. So that delta T by T equal to half delta L by L. This is one formula. But here we have delta L by L as alpha delta theta. So this is the fractional change in time period. So as temperature increases, length increases, time period increases. If temperature decreases, length decreases, time period decreases. When time period increases, it runs slowly because it is taking more time to complete revolution. So that there is a loss of time. When temperature decreases, then length decreases, then time period decreases. That means time taken to complete revolution is less. So it will run faster. So it will gain time. That kind of effect will be there. And sometimes they will ask you what is the change in time for one particular time. Then the formula is this one. Take this T this side. Like for 1 day they will ask. 1 day means 86,400 seconds. Like that. So this way the question can come. And one more important application, that is based on thermal stress. So what is that thermal stress means? If you consider two fixed support and there is a rod between them. See, if you heat it, if you increase the temperature by delta theta, it should have been extended by delta L. It is trying to expand. But because of this rigid supports, it will not expand. Now when you are trying to press against something, then what happens here? Force will develop. That means force by area is called what? Stress. So here we are not applying force. We are just heating and it is trying to expand. In that process, it is trying to press this fixed support so that some stress will develop, and that stress we call it as thermal stress. So thermal stress. That thermal stress equal to, see, if you take Young's modulus formula, stress formula is Y into strain. Strain means delta L by L. But here we are increasing the temperature, means delta L by L is what? Y alpha delta theta. So this is the thermal stress. Based on this they can ask question, or they can ask what is the force developed also. So Ya alpha delta theta. In all the questions, take care of conversion. That is very much important, and do the calculation properly. Most of the time 99.9% they will give simple formula based questions only. So this is what the questions, what kind of question will come based on thermal expansion of solids. Now let's see the thermal expansion of liquids. So in case of liquids, now thermal expansion of liquids, if you consider, we cannot heat the liquid directly. We cannot pour some milk on the stove directly. Yes or no? That's why we need to have one solid container. Now, suppose you pour the any liquid inside the container and you put it on the stove. So first what happens is the solid container get heated up, so that the solid will expand, so the liquid level drops. But this change is not because liquid got heated up. It is because the solid got heated up. So this is the change in volume of container. So that first liquid level reduces. Then what happens is the liquid also get heated up and it will rises, and it will rise to particular level. Now this is the actual expansion, real expansion of liquid. But here we observe only this one, initial level and final one, and this we will say as our observation, apparent expansion. So that's why there are two expansions in case of liquid, like apparent and real. So that there is gamma real and there is gamma apparent, and there is gamma for container. So three coefficient of expansion will come in case of expansion of liquid. And if you take this equal to this plus this, that means gamma real equal to gamma apparent plus gamma container. So a question can be asked based on this equation, first kind. Other one is they can ask question based on the same thing in this manner. Suppose there is a container and the liquid is filled up to some level. Volume of liquid is VL, volume of container VC, and gamma L is the real or absolute coefficient, and gamma C is expansion coefficient for container. Then you heat it, you increase the temperature by delta theta. But what you observed is the initial level and the final level both are same. What does that mean? As first solid expands, it will reduce, and again it went back only up to initial level. There is expansion of solid, there is expansion of liquid, but expansion in solid and expansion in liquid both are same. That's why it is not going beyond this, only it is coming down and going up to here only. So that condition they will mention like, or else they will say above the liquid whatever air space is there, space, air column, that remains same for all the temperatures. Then you can say that delta V container equal to delta V liquid. So delta V means V gamma delta theta. So V gamma C delta theta. V L gamma L delta theta cancel. So the condition will come V C gamma C equal to V L gamma L. So this is the another type of question they can ask based on expansion of liquids. Now one more thing, same case they will say like initially the beaker is completely filled with liquid. So what condition will come? VC equal to VL, that's it. Here it is partially filled, here it is fully filled. Then both are equal, so these two will get cancelled. Then the condition will come gamma C equal to gamma L. And here they will say that even after heating, even after increasing temperature by delta theta, there is no overflow. It just reduced, it drops and then increases and remains on the final level, initial level only. So that kind of question they can ask based on thermal expansion of liquids. And here one more thing also we need to understand in case of liquids, that is expansion of water. So water is somewhat different behavior due to its composition. Some H2O and the composition of the molecules of hydrogen and atom will be different at a different temperature. So don't think much about the reason, but remember that as 0 degrees Celsius, it is mainly because of chemical composition of hydrogen and oxygen. So 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, even though the temperature increases, the volume decreases, that means contracts. But from 4 degrees Celsius onwards, it expands. So it's a kind of abnormal or anomalous behavior that is shown by water. So that here, so 4 degrees Celsius onwards increases, but 0 to 4 degrees Celsius decreases. Suppose at 0 degrees Celsius some volume is there. Now 0 to 4 it decreases. And then 4 degrees Celsius it starts increases. That means at 4 degrees Celsius the volume of water is minimum. At 4 degrees Celsius volume is minimum. And volume is minimum means its density, what should it become? Maximum, because density and volume inversely proportional to each other. So that is what the anomalous behavior of water. And because of this reason only, in the freeze lake, the water at 4 degrees Celsius go to the down, bottom and stays at 4 degrees Celsius only. That's why mammals will survive. So that is what expansion of liquids. Now let's see the expansion of, now if we consider expansion of gas, see in simple way I will tell you. See, gas expansion means we have few laws, important laws. One is Boyle's law. What Boyle's law says? At constant temperature, pressure is inversely proportional to volume, so that pressure into volume remains constant, so that P1 V1 equal to P2 V2. But this is, we are talking about ideal gas. So when you consider that ideal gas, usually there is a pressure, volume, temperature at every state for a gas. Now the relation between them is PV equal to nRT, where N is mass by molecular mass, nothing but number of moles, or number of molecules by Avogadro number. This also you can take it, because capital M is the molecular mass, means mass of 1 mole. Mass of 1 mole means, that is mass of Avogadro number of atoms. Avogadro number is how much? 6.023 into 10 power 23. So every ideal gas obeys this equation. Pressure changes, volume changes, temperature may change, but always this remains same. That means always for every gas, PV by T equal to NR remains constant. These three may change, but the product remains constant. So based on this equation only, he said that the change in volume can happen without effect of temperature, that is with the effect of pressure. Now here how the question will come is, between pressure and volume, like pressure at constant temperature, initial pressure this one, final volume, initial volume this one. If final volume becomes V2, then what is the final pressure? So between this equation they can ask one question, or they can ask you the question like, if you draw the curve between pressure and volume, then it will come hyperbola because inversely proportional to each other. Then area below the graph means proportional to product PV. PV proportional to temperature. So area below the graph gives temperature. Suppose it is at constant temperature T1, it is at T2, and area below this is more, so you can conclude T2 greater than T1. Or else for the same process, for the same law, if you draw VT graph, if you draw PT or TP graph, anything, here temperature constant, so that the graph is straight line parallel to volume axis. Here also same thing, the graph is straight line parallel to pressure axis, like that. Graphical based questions also they can ask. That is one law, that is Boyle's law. At constant temperature, the product of pressure and volume remains constant. Next comes Charles' law. So if you consider Charles' law, here in Charles' law, at constant pressure, volume directly proportional to temperature, so that V by T remains constant. So V1 by T1 equal to V2 by T2. Here also same, 4 quantities. Now here if you take the graph, volume versus temperature, proportionality means like y equal to mx form. So straight line passing through origin. And if you consider here slope, you can find. Slope of Vt if you take, that is V by T, that is proportional to 1 by pressure. If you reverse, slope of TV, T on y axis, V on x axis, then that is T by V. So from ideal gas, it is proportional to pressure. So slope is, in this case slope more means pressure more, but in this case slope more means pressure less. Suppose they have given a question like, see, two graphs are given, P1, P2, then P1 greater or P2 greater, then you can find by comparing the slopes. Such kind of graphical question also they can ask you. Now here only I will tell you Gay-Lussac law. Just reverse. Here pressure constant and in Gay-Lussac volume constant. So that in place of V, P will come. P. So here P1, here P2. Same here P versus T. Then PT, so P by T, and here comes volume. So PT graph means volume. Then TP volume, here proportional to V. So here they will ask V2, V1. So at constant volume, PT graph is a straight line passing through origin. At constant pressure also, VT graph is also a straight line passing through origin. So these are the 3 laws in which you can observe the change in volume. So this is what the gas laws. And why we are not doing today, because the questions will be asked related to gas laws and thermodynamics and kinetic theory of gases together. So that we will study in another day together, like thermodynamics and kinetic theory of gases. So that's why today we are not discussing. So this is what the thermal expansion, right? So please try to understand and practice. I will send you the notes today, right? Thank you.